Are you ready for the ultimate bikepacking weekend adventure? Join us for an unforgettable self-supported bikepacking trip through Southwest Virginia. The Grayson Gravel Pie Bikepacking Adventure travels along the Virginia Creeper Trail, the beautiful gravel roads of Grayson County, Virginia, and the New River Trail. All lodging and camping arrangements are included, along with daily routes and guides riding along with you. This self-supported adventure offers resupply opportunities every 20 miles for your food and water needs. Find out more at graveltraveldirt.com.
You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hey everybody, I'm Brian.
And I'm Joey.
And I'm Jess.
Welcome to episode 146 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Come on along, everybody. Spend the next hour or so with us talking about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping, the Jersey gravel scene. That's right up your alley, Jess.
Yeah, I was thinking about when we were walking the dog, I was thinking about if I should be called the next Jersey gravel grinder. And then I was like, that could be bad. So I will not go with that as a nickname.
Hey, or just playing bike. Stop yelling at your new dog. So that's the big news we have. That's the most exciting news.
That is the most exciting news.
She's going after my grilled cheese.
Do you want to introduce your new family member to the podcast audience?
This is Jessica.
Oh my God.
She's my wife. Ted caught it last week. He said, I heard the adoption, and he was assuming it was a furry adoption, not a human or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I only adopt kids old enough to have jobs and an income and are responsible. No, yeah, so it popped up. We've been trying. It's like we've been trying for a while. No, really, I missed like 3 dogs. I had my boys don't swim or something. I don't know.
Oh my God.
But this boy does swim. He is a black lab.
Mm-hmm. What's his name?
He is 2 years old. His name was Blade. It is now Blake.
I like Blake.
So on all his records, he was very well taken care of in the past. It looks like. Blaze was on everything. He came to the adoption agency. They named him Blade. I was like, hunting vampires. I don't know about that.
Well,
Scared me.
Blaze and Blade, in my opinion, are both very aggressive.
Yeah.
Blake.
Well, Blade sounds like he hunts vampires. Blade vampire. Just thought Blaze. She just thinks we're all smoking. We might be. We might not be. You never know.
Yeah, I thought about that angle.
I said they
I was just thinking about a shot fire, but
Oh
that
my
too.
God.
No, I was thinking about some good times, but we went with Blake. It just is cute.
Yep.
And he looks like a Blake.
He didn't get confused over that at all because it's
close enough. That's why we kept it Blake.
Yeah, and he wasn't, when we first got him, he honestly wasn't responding to either very well.
He was responding to wherever the ball was.
Correct.
But he does listen to when he's not focused on the ball.
He's down here on the floor looking up at me like they're talking about me, aren't they?
No, he's a very, very intuitive guy.
Very smart boy.
Smart.
He is a very loving, for a 2-year-old puppy, he is a very
no
well-behaved.
personal space issues.
No
He
personal
sat
space
for me.
issues.
He laid down for me. I didn't even have treats, and he was doing all those little things for me.
He's
brilliant.
He's gotten better at pulling on the leash, and he's doing a little jumping because he's a 2-year-old. Play and jump. So even my vet said you can't really train all that out of him right now.
No.
But hey, I love him. The first night he slept up on the pillows like lengthwise on his back for a while.
Oh God.
And then
At one point I woke up and I was like, Joey, we have to move him. Like I don't know what to do. Like we have to move him.
Have you woke up with this junk on top of your head?
But he literally has no personal space issues. So he eats his water. So right now there'll be a puddle of water right underneath
see
him.
It shooting outside
It'll
the ball.
just be like puddles of water everywhere.
Oh, good. So you'll probably be able to hear that. I don't know if you'll be able to hear him drinking on the podcast.
You can just see it shooting outside
Oh my
the
goodness!
ball.
Look, there's water just drooling out of his mouth.
Everywhere.
He's like saving some on the floor.
He loves to
over
run.
here.
I'm going to start Stravaing my walks with him.
I saw the one you did today.
That was a short one today.
I Strava my walks with him.
Yeah.
We usually walk for 35 to 40 minutes. So
he looks taller than Max.
he was, and he's much easier accessible to the counters. If that makes any sense. He is a counter surfer.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, there he goes now.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I would have, there would have been like a cool gravel or bike name, but he already had a.
Yeah, I mean you can't really change that.
Yeah.
He's a good boy. Oh, he's got
Chisel's cool.
He has got soulful eyes.
He does. He stares at you with those. You're like, oh.
You introduced him to the portrait of Max so that he knows.
he does.
his buddy.
Joey and Blake had a long talk one night while they were watching TV about all of the responsibilities that Max had in our family. So now they're going to be passed down to Blake. So
big dog collar to fill.
Big dog collar to fill. But all of Max's things are still here.
He's his own dog.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
what are you drinking over there tonight, Jerry?
I have some of that Victory. Oh man, can you read that bottle?
Storm King
Victory. It's a Imperial Stout.
Okay.
From Victory. I got 2 in my new beer stein.
Oh, you actually doubled them up to fill up the beer stein.
Well, how do you get the picture?
I don't know, but you did.
That seems like a lot of beer, hun.
It's 2 beers.
It's not a lot of beers.
Storm King has a high ABV.
Oh my god! No, I had a Dreadnought Imperial aged stout or aged in rye barrels.
Saw that picture.
That 10%er. I had to play ball with Blake after that.
That'll get you.
Yeah,
that'll get you.
I started chasing the ball.
Oh my god!
I'm just kidding. No, this is pretty good. I've cut back my drinking to only once a day.
I don't even know. I think I had a beer last week or the week before for a podcast, but I have not really been drinking a lot of beer. I've been kind of off the beer for a little bit. I don't know.
Hard seltzer?
No, I haven't really been drinking a lot at all. And it's more just a time thing. It's just, there's been, once the clock's changed, doesn't it feel like everything's like accelerated?
Last night
it feels like you need to drink more.
Last night we were laying on the couch and Joey was sitting in the middle and Blake was in the middle between us. And I was like, God, it must be like 8:30. Why are we up so late? Joey's like
5:50.
It's 5:15. Like, what are we doing?
Well,
but it's like pitch black outside right now.
Has anybody got bike stuff to talk about? Joey, you've got a couple things in your little...
Bike stuff?
Yeah. Have you got any bike things to talk about since you work at a bike shop?
I rode my bike this week.
Nice.
Multiple times.
Good job.
I literally was the 100th person for Strava Club.
Now I was saving that for the Strava
I'm too proud now.
Yep.
No, I specifically went out on Sunday. I was like, Sunday sucked. It was so windy.
Yes, it did.
Nothing new fancy. I don't know.
Yeah,
what happened
since
since
bike life in November.
This last week it's been wild. No, I smoked a lot of turkey bits yesterday.
Didn't know where you were going with that.
Didn't know where we were going with that.
Didn't know where we were headed with that little adventure wagon.
No, I would say this last week of riding was like this week should still be good too, but the foliage is beautiful.
It was cold. It started to get cold.
It's only cold depending on how you dress.
Well, I rode right up into the edge. And I'll talk about where I've been on the bike.
Did you jump off?
Nope. But we're supposed to get a couple of nice days tomorrow and Thursday, I think.
It's all nice. Man, my new vest, that Specialized Prime whatever.
Like that?
Oh, my God. Best vest I've ever worn.
Nice. Good. It's always good when a piece of bike clothing works out, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Especially when
it's like a crap. You were talking about that. It feels like a crapshoot.
I cannot stand when I don't know what to order and it's not comfortable. Then I'm stuck with it and it's riding up.
You can return it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this vest is $200 MSRP. Woo. So I was like, all right, let's see what it's. Well, I get a little.
So you got it at what? Their cost was like what? $20? Did you get it? For
sure. Basically, they paid me to wear it.
Shop markup.
No, I have an employee program with Specialized, but no, I would after wearing it, I would happily pay them money.
Yeah,
it's
good.
It has a nice. It's like a it's like a fleece thing up front, but it's a little fuzzy. It's like cottony. It almost feels like the little mouse rat thing you have.
So it breaks the wind a little bit.
Oh, totally.
You're talking about a dead cat.
Yeah, dead cat. It's got dead cat on the inside of it. Innovate or die. Dead cat, but the back is just warm enough to breathe, but doesn't keep you cold. So it breaks the wind in the front. It keeps that off. I totally
and then it's vented in the back, so you don't build up that sweat thing.
Because I have a wool base layer from Specialized. I have one of their thermal jersey things, and then that. I mean, the other day I started, it was like 48, 47, and windy. And it was just totally fine.
I can't remember what day it was. I
rode just some hand-up gloves.
Early, and it was the same thing. I started off real early in the morning, and it was before the moisture had gotten out of the air, so it felt really cold. But within like 45 minutes, it was like, oh my God, you're just burning up. Overdressed.
Oh, but the way I dressed, I was comfortable.
Good.
It was nice. Everything breathed.
I'm so glad, honey.
And I look good in it. I look good.
Glad.
That's the most important thing. Honestly, at the end of the day,
I mean, if you just close your eyes, I look good.
What about you, Jess? What's going on in your world?
Nothing much. I mean, I'm still Pelotoning at 4:30 in the morning. So
Get ready for Gravel World.
Gravel World?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know.
Have you registered yet?
We don't know what the summer is going
that's right.
to
I
going to unfold.
I thought with all of those plans that late August time block on a teacher schedule might be tough.
It could be because teachers usually start the August 20th.
Yeah.
So it could be like either the first, like I would be okay with taking a day or two off if it was just in-service days.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how I would feel about taking the first day off with school with kids.
So of our group right now, I think I have officially registered. Nadine has officially registered. Larry is registered. And I think that's it of the people that have been kind of like bandying it about
Yeah.
and
Hey, like
talking
pack
about it.
family wise, I'll do whatever shop wise to get people rolling.
But the support on social media for Gravel Worlds, every other day, you know, I check in with Jason. How's it going? You know, what do they need for us and everything? You know, building that friendly, you know, you got to do it. I mean, I think it's great, his initiative. And I think he is setting some precedents out there. So, you know, I like checking in. I like seeing how many people have registered and stuff like that.
Well, I hope it works out that you'll be
I
able
hope-
to.
yeah.
I really do hope that it works out. That
You're in charge of taking care of my bike, though. If Joey's not there, you know that, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
fine. That's fine. I got it.
You
I ain't
screw up
I ain't
one thing, I swear to
I ain't
God.
redishing no wheels, so y'all better be doing test rides and everything before that thing goes. So
I hate when people touch mine or Jessica's bike.
I don't
want
to touch it.
Anything.
I will change flats.
I give you permission.
I will touch. You can give me a list. And then if it's anything else, be like, it's not on the list.
It's not on the list.
I got no help for you.
But the question is, will she be riding her new gravel bike then?
I really hope your crux is here by then.
Yeah, right.
It should be. It should be here for Crotan.
So I finally got back on Zwift. I have really dreaded it this year.
I'm doing that tomorrow morning.
I have not been looking forward to it, but I finally got everything set up. And boy, Zwift has come a long way. They got the new island, there's new routes, there's new exciting things. And so once I got back on it, it's like, okay, this is the world now. And I did set it up in my you know, had it set up in the little office space out in the back of
it's
the
like
house.
4 degrees.
I set it up in the basement this year, and I've got the big 65-inch right in front of me that I broadcasted up on. I got a little queasy.
Did you get some sunscreen?
No, but I got a little queasy when it was like going across the bridges and it starts to shake a little bit on that
Yeah,
big
but
screen. It's
relative
like,
frequency, like if we had rigid bridges, like they would all fall down, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Is that
But
what,
I mean,
what happened to London Bridge?
they were
That's why you
wooden.
don't march in time
They were
over
wooden.
bridges and stuff like that, right?
And
Relative frequency. Somebody will correct me on it. So
I
that
have,
like Fergie?
I have also been talking to Nate at Hush Money, trying to get the OTSO working.
I already
in
got
play.
one. I'm riding it.
I'm trying to get it in play, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We've had our conversations. He knows I'm serious. He knows I want to make this thing happen, and you know, so they're doing stuff on their end. We haven't really connected the dots yet, but I think they're in conversation with OTSO as to what they can and can't do. So OTSO, if you're listening, we sure would talk about that bike a whole lot if I
wish
was
they were
riding
listening.
a Warwick and tie. I bet you they are. I hope they do. I hope all industry people listen to us.
You just get a mass email every week. An
would
episode.
work. That'll work.
That'll work.
I did, Joey. I ordered some new wheels, buddy.
ooh,
I went and got.
Oh
those.
man, you went those? I thought
I
they were.
went and
I
got-
thought you thought they were heavy.
No. I thought the 650s were heavy with the 47s and the 16
Oh, no,
ounces
they
of
are.
sealant in each wheel. That was heavy.
Yeah. It's at least an extra pound. Seal it.
Just joking. Didn't put 16 ounces.
14.
So, but I did. I went ahead. I saw that Backcountry had, and I know there's always supply issues right now. So I saw they had them in stock, and I knew if the working comes in, I'm going to want some wheels to put on it. So I just went ahead and pulled the trigger. It's like they're here. The price point was right. I really do like the wheels. So I don't know what I'll do with those 650s. I got some bikes to sell. We were talking about that. I'm probably gonna have 2 or 3 bikes to sell to kind of fund that
I'll buy that tarmac back.
work. And you want to?
no.
I would sell it back to you for what I bought it from you for. I'm not
Joey
gonna
says
sell-
we only fight on nights that are podcast nights.
Yeah, we are happily
we are
married.
happily married.
Well, you know
but-
what's going to happen, Jess,
We
though?
bicker
In
on
about a
purpose.
year, I'll buy it
I
back
know,
from him,
I
so don't
know.
worry about it.
I'll, like,
we
keep
should
hearing-
just keep that as a community bike.
So, long story short, I was the original owner of that frame. Went to my friend Dan. Dan gave it back. Brian has it now. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah. Dan might have it back. I don't know.
Maybe that's the right route. Maybe it goes back to Dan, and then it comes back to you.
Dan did buy a new Topstone.
So
Dan, I need to send Dan a little love package.
So what I want to do
Maybe
is
not like that, but Dan has got the gravel itch out in Colorado.
I would sell that bike back to you for what I bought it from you for. So we could just keep
Okay.
trading it back and forth. What did you spend it? Well, we'll talk about that later.
I don't even
After
remember.
Jess is here. I do.
all I keep hearing is cha-ching, 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 and like the jersey and the thing, and there's a whole box, you know.
Don't even talk to me in
Jersey.
my world. So last Thursday with the Veterans Day ride with the club, which was a whole lot of fun because it was beautiful weather. After you rode Thursday over here before work, right?
Did, and I got a dog.
Yeah. and
Yes,
then you
we
went and
rode
got
that
dog.
morning.
Yep.
Beautiful. Foliage was
Whoa,
amazing.
gorgeous.
Calvert
gorgeous
County was
weather.
way better than Charles.
I spent the ride kind of playing around with some new cameras and the new mounts. And did you watch that little video I made?
I did. I commented on it.
I
too.
didn't know. Oh, that's right, you did.
It's in that snake hand.
The snap mount on the chest with the like
looks kinda
magnetics.
creepy.
No, it
You
actually
look
I
like a
don't-
cyborg.
It doesn't look as bad as if you wear a full chesty, because then you look like you've got some sort of like armor on.
Full
if you
pitch
wear the
chesty.
full chesty, like over the shoulders and it goes around. This thing, it just it's magnetic
Wow,
and it just
that is
snaps
sexist.
right there.
How do you
What?
think women feel?
What?
I have a friend who runs with one of those,
What a chesty?
and the cell phone is like it's a vest looking thing that goes over
Yeah.
necks, and it's a cell phone fits like right there.
Well, with the stabilization, because I had the Hero 8 on the snap mount, the magnetic snap mount,
Yeah.
and I could pop it off and do things with it, and then I had the 10 and my little.
Cool.
I just
Didn't you
played
crush
with
your
it.
finger in it too?
Well, I did that when I first got it. Because those magnets are strong, dude.
Put it on
Really
your
strong.
tongue. I'll have a
No,
contest.
don't do that. So it was a lot of fun to play around with. Played through that little video together, threw it out there, and there it is. So did Blake do that, or what's going on over there?
I'm sitting crisscross.
Okay.
Applesauce.
Also, we have buttons now, Joey.
How
We
do?
have buttons.
So how
excited
do
about that?
we acquire these buttons?
So
For
if
a
you
loyal
are
listener,
if you are a Patreon member, a button collection. I have two different styles of button. I have the pavement ends button and then the logo button. If you are a current Patreon member, buttons are coming your way.
Wow.
Buttons are going to be
how are
headed
you going
out.
to mail those safely?
I don't know.
Get it? There's safety pins.
I'll figure it
No,
out.
I'm just thinking envelope and a button.
Yeah, I'll figure it
I was
out.
throwing those little ones in those. Remember when I did that huge blast a couple years ago of all of our stickers? I was throwing the little tiny buttons.
And you had
in.
the little tiny buttons.
The little ones are like dime size.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was getting. Those buttons are pretty big.
I love these ones.
But
Yeah, I like these
They're
ones
gonna look
too.
good. Like I got a fresh drop of Nittany bags.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna go great on people's bags.
So the other way you could get them is if you're a Patreon member, you could come get some from Joey at the shop. And
Yeah.
those you can
You
take
don't wanna
those
wait
to
in
your
the
shop.
postal service. They'll
You don't want to
probably
wait on the
lose them.
postal service. Just let me know who's got them. Maybe you'll get them doubles. I don't know.
Tom, walk over.
So come to the shop, get your buttons if you're a Patreon member. I'm going to send them out through the mail to Patreon folks. And then I think really the only other way, I don't really want to sell them. I don't think they're worth selling. But I think it's just going to be, we're going to have those buttons. I got a lot of them.
Come in the store and find me.
We're gonna like take them to events with us.
I'm hard to find sometimes.
And you've got to come find us at events, and we're gonna have buttons and all that stuff. So I'm excited. I was sad they came in like the day after Philly Bike Expo, so it would have been fun to have.
It's gonna look
them.
good on my shop apron.
Yeah, yeah. it's
It'll
gonna-
look good on my new Nittany bag to carry my laminator.
I
in.
got her.
So if you haven't seen the buttons, you can check them out. There are some
big
pictures.
is this?
That is huge.
That's going to fit my Yetis, my laminator. I'm very excited about that. That is
Joey
the bag
got
I
just a
wanted.
huge Nittany bag. That's like a
It's
huge.
It's
tote
called the
bag.
carry-all.
Wow, you could fit Blake in there.
Probably.
He does ball up very small.
He
So
does.
He's like
He
a
does.
contortionist.
He does.
Oh, good boy.
But
So there's buttons. So come to the shop, get buttons. Patrons are getting buttons. You're going to see buttons on the Nittany Mountworks stuff. Maybe if somebody, let's do this with Evan. If somebody buys a Nittany Mountworks bag at the shop, they get a free
They
button.
get a button.
They get a button
You're like
to
the
go on
Oprah.
it. You like that? You
Yeah.
get a button. You get a button. If you want to see what the buttons look like, you can go to
Oh, I'm getting
our
ready to post it
Instagram.
on our Instagram right now.
Okay, you can post it. I think I already put one there too. So
you can also
There it
get a
is.
button by sending me some nice messages.
like if you wanted to send Primal, wanted to send Jess some jerseys to
Yeah,
try
right.
out. That's going to be a thing that's
You
happening.
know me
here
and
soon.
my search for a properly fitting women's jersey.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Joe, you want to do Strava Club?
No, I was right at number 100. We're good.
Do you want to do
All
Strava
right, sorry.
Club?
We have Kid Cudi. That's all I saw because I saw O'Connor. All right. No, we have Kit Rudd from Midlothian, Virginia, with 165.4.
Good job, Kit.
Lindsay O'Connor from Middleburg, Virginia.
Good job,
which
Lindsay.
is a nice place to ride, with 119.7. And Mr. We should have done a drum roll. Christopher Howe from Frederick, Maryland, with
Nice.
159.3.
I love it when friends pop up in the
Yes.
random draw. I think it's kind of cool.
Draw.
It's a good job, Chris. Riding from his backyard. He's probably
Yeah.
just doing laps around his house.
Like, and then, comes back. Oh, does the dishes real quick, goes back out, does a spreadsheet.
Moves the laundry.
Good job, Chris.
I haven't.
Wouldn't that be nice, though?
I know. We need to go up and see them too.
No,
I want to
I-
go hang out with Chris.
I want to read that to break into the top 100 for the week.
Yes.
Can I do that?
Yes.
So to break into the top 100, you needed to channel your inner Joey Sikorsky and get 103.6 miles because that was your number. You were number 100.
That was tough.
Good job.
That was a tough
job, Joey.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
Joey. Fantastic.
Oh, so that brings me back to the Joey segment.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
Ah, 'cause
Isn't
you
this
know,
whole thing the Joey segment?
Oh, wow.
it's my podcast. Partnered with Brian and you. So I have a third of whatever I want.
He gets a third of the
I
time.
got a third of the time, which is usually
ahead, sweetheart.
75%. There I go. No, my next big cycling thing I told Jess is the Festive 500.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
he
Rafa's
did say
Festive
that.
So I was like, all right, I need to get I got my Zwift room set up. I have my
Yep.
Wahoo set up next to the Peloton. I can't put my Athos on it, so I got to put my Kona on it because
Explain to everybody what the Rafa 500 is.
the Festive 500 is a 9 or 10 days window from like New Year's Eve to New Year's Day or something, and everything has to be 100% outside, and it's 500 kilometers. So I was talking to like Jason, and I even told Chris and some other folks.
That's a
we
big
get
week.
a small group.
That's a big week. That's an over 300-mile week.
Yeah. I figured you stack a couple big rides and just fill it in.
I might jump in that bandwagon with
Can
you.
I do it on my Peloton?
No,
Gotta
you
be
have to be
outside.
outside.
But can I move my Peloton to the deck?
Oh,
Oh, you
ouch.
could do it. I mean, I will buy you a jersey if you do all of no, that Peloton doesn't move unless there's movers.
Yeah, you would have to like get somebody of movers in here to bring
No,
it
I'd
down.
push it out the
The
window.
new Peloton van would have to come.
No, I say that's kind of kicked off riding. You got to be in shape to do the Festive 500.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
You
That's
do
like-
it,
that's pretty
Joey.
You gotta hit it running. You gotta hit it.
and then I have like a 3-month gap because I'm not riding Croatan.
I always
But I do need a few trips down there soon.
I haven't decided what I'm doing. But I usually kick off the New Year's Day with a century on the trainer.
Oh
So we'll see if I do that again this year. I don't know.
I tried a gravel century before gravel was a thing, and everyone was drinking early, and
Yeah.
it was cold, and I only rode like 30 miles, and it was a 2-hour drive.
Well, you can just say, I just went to do a century.
Yeah,
And I just went out to do a
kidding.
century.
It was
I
like,
remember
do it.
that.
It was
I was
like
at the
18 degrees.
I remember that. That was New Year's, right?
Yeah.
I was at the crab drop in Easton.
You were.
I was at the crab drop in Easton.
So we should start talking about things that we've got. We've got the 12 Rides of Christmas to the club coming up. We've done that every year. We've got things that we're going to do around the holiday. Aren't we doing a Boxing Day or something? We're talking about doing something.
All depends on my Festive 500 ventures.
Okay. Well, maybe we can roll that into a part of it.
I've been talking to go to Florida. It would be very easy to do that in the warm.
Oh, I love.
I don't know if
Florida
it
in the
all
winter.
depends on dog.
We can go to the villages.
There's lots of great. I know people that ride it. I've ridden.
Oh
a
yeah,
lot with
I
the
still follow
villages.
people from like 4 years ago. when we
Oh
were
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I'd
I
get
still
hit by
got
a golf
friends
cart.
there. Yeah, right on.
Swingers, with the golf clubs.
And yep. Okay, Jess, you put out your call for a question.
did,
Oh wait a minute,
I
we didn't
did.
even. We didn't do our total members, Joey, and our link to the Strava Club. I'm sorry, I cut you short, buddy.
So
I'm
to
sorry.
make the top 100, you need 103.6, or you needed to be me. We are at 785 from 784.
picked up a member.
Yes. What happens at 8? Do we get Wes back or totally gone?
I don't. Who?
I was like,
Who?
no one remembers Wes.
Who? Nobody remembers. Nobody even knows
I don't know if
Wes
Wes.
anymore.
I texted Wes last Saturday with a picture of you and me recreating mine and his Philly picture that got him in trouble with his in-laws.
Mhm.
Never heard back.
Nothing.
Yep.
Crickets. I hope he's still alive.
Strava.com/clubs/gravel travel dirt.
Wait a minute. Do you think Melanie would have let us know if something would have happened to us?
She's probably the first person to kill him. She lives with him. I wouldn't.
We've lived with him.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm sorry. I stepped on your link. You were given the link to the Strava Club, Joey.
Strava.com/clubs/gravel-travel-dirt.
Excellent. So, Jess, you put out your call for questions
I did.
on Instagram.
I did.
Do you want me to read the question that you can then respond to?
Please.
Okay. So this is from Rachel, and this question is for Jess. How did you get into gravel, and would you try mountain biking?
So that is a great question. I probably got into gravel because of Joey. On our first date, I was talking about doing Ironmans, and Joey was like, I'm going to go ride in Nebraska for a few miles.
Kansas.
Oh, Kansas. Sorry.
Kansas.
Yeah, that's Kansas. That's when he was doing Unbound.
Dirty Kansas at the time.
In Dirty Kansas at the time. But yeah, so definitely got in, started riding with Joey, but I like the ease of it all. I like going slow. I like not having to rush for people. I could be a little bit better with a lot of things with gravel bike riding, like directions and bike handling and stuff like that. But we're just going to take it as it is.
Yeah.
Our dog was going to eat the last grilled cheese. So, but would I try mountain biking? Yes, I 100% would. I just think mountain biking around here would be pretty fun, around the lake and stuff like that. And I know females who do that. So I think it would be cool. But my bike handling skills are terrible.
Well, that could help you improve.
And that
those.
could help me improve.
Yeah,
So that's the really reason why. And it's the same thing with running. Sometimes I get burnt out just running the same routes every day. It's the same thing with cycling. So having different ways and means of extremes to cycle will really keep me up and current with the sport.
You also, I have found that mountain biking in the winter is a little more agreeable because you're in the woods, you're out of the wind. It's not speed. It's kind of a different kind of thing. For me, winter has always been mountain biking season.
Yeah.
But I was just sitting here telling Joey that I'm getting ready to sell my stump jumper, so I'm going to keep my Fat Boy though. So.
Oh yeah, how much you sell that stump jumper? I don't want a stump jumper.
No, you don't want a stump jumper.
I did sell my kick and climb.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Good.
Their network is flawless.
Joining us now is David Schwartz from Ready, Set, Go Adventures for round 2, because Brian, the first time that we started this little interview segment, forgot to hit record. So I apologize for that, everybody.
Probably because I'm so rude to Jersey.
I don't know.
Happened.
So David,
we don't take it personally.
David is from Ready, Set, Go Adventures, which is the parent, I guess, company.
We are not ready to set.
Yeah, no, we were not Ready, Set, Go. We were Ready, Set, False Start. The parent
we're going
company
on an adventure, so we're good.
Yeah. The parent company of the Jersey Gravel Grinder in May and the Jersey Gravel Grinder did I do that right? In September. Right, David?
You got it.
It's great to have you here with us tonight. So I think that in our conversations, David, you talked about there was one more gravel event that you guys are doing. Which one's that? What's that?
Yeah, so we're going to be expanding to a 3-race series. July 31st, we're going to have another gravel grinder in Southwest Connecticut.
Okay.
We're in the final stages of some of the permits and things we need, but we're well within the development and probably within the coming weeks. Registration will open up for that too.
Cool. Now, where are you calling in from tonight, David? Where are you from? Where are you calling from?
From the Garden State, New Jersey.
Right on.
Here's a question. I won't look it up. Why is it called the Garden State?
I don't know.
This is gardens because there's all this beautiful foliage and forests, and it's a gorgeous state.
Thank you. You're the first person to actually gave me an answer. I've asked a lot of people, even Jersey people.
They don't know? I don't know. What is Maryland called? Maryland's called the Old Line State.
Yeah.
And that's because it was the Mesa-Dixon line, I think.
So there's a quote from a movie. I think it's like Miss Congeniality, and it's like, because gas and petroleum doesn't fit on a license plate, that's why they call it the Garden State. I'll have to Google. I'll have to Google that. But I just know that because of residing in Jersey.
Funny.
So
Jess is a Jersey girl. We were just talking about that, so we won't bring all.
I just learned about. I think with the Boomer gravel, the amount of gravel in Jersey too this year.
Yeah.
So Dave and them did a ride in South Jersey, and then there is all these in the north part, which is really cool.
Joey, gravel is everywhere except for our backyard.
Right?
It's
literally, I have it out my door.
So, Dave, before we get into all the stuff about the events, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
So, I've been riding, and probably since I was a teenager. My dad got me into cycling as a teenager. I guess it kept me out of trouble, and it was kind of the normal. Hey, we're going out for 40, 50, 60 miles. I'm going to ride, and we're going to Vermont. That was my norm. And eventually, post college, I found my way to a mountain bike, and got all bloodied and bruised and everything else, and then. A few years later, I was on the edge of my 40th birthday, and I decided on a whim to jump into a mountain bike race. And
because why not?
Because why not? Because I do these. People that know me, that's kind of a Dave thing. I was like, oh, that's a horrible idea. Great, let's do it. And that's where a lot of these adventures come from. And so, so I jumped into it. I still remember I crashed 3 times. I finished 12th. I was totally hooked. And so that eventually led to everything morphs, and eventually that led to off-road triathlon and doing Xterra racing, swim, mountain bike, trail run. And basically what happened is I qualified for nationals, went to nationals. It was 2015. And then 2016 had the blessing of a shift in a company I was working for, and position elimination, whatever, something at the time. And the energy and everything else. And 2016, we launched the company, and eventually it's kind of morphed, and obviously we've added quite a few events, among which is obviously gravel, which is something near and dear to me and most of the crew.
So what else does Ready, Set, Go? You guys got a whole family of events besides the gravel events. What else do you guys do?
Yeah, so we're a true multi-sport company. There's now 15 annual events. It starts in February with a fat bike race in the snow. Then there's mountain bike races, there's trail runs, there's both road and off-road triathlons. This year we'll be bringing the first gravel triathlon to New Jersey. And then obviously the gravel grinders. And this Sunday we'll have our first cyclocross race.
Okay, cool. And now it's tell me a little bit more about the gravel triathlon. How does that play out? Or off-road triathlon?
So we're on our, our 5th edition of our off-road triathlon. That's in a park in northern New Jersey called Waiwayanda, which is one of my favorite places to ride and to hike, to run, and everything. And it's going to be an open water swim in an absolutely magnificent lake, huge lake, absolutely gorgeous views. And then it's going to be gravel on a mix of fire roads, a little bit of single track, a whole bunch of the cyclocross course that we created for the race that's happening Sunday. And it's going to be a multi-loop race, and then it'll be a trail run. Cool. So there'll be both a short and a long race. The short will be a 400-meter swim, about 10 miles gravel riding, and then a 3-mile bike trail run, rather. And the long one will be a 1,000-meter swim, 20-mile bike, gravel bike, and a 6-mile 10K trail run.
That sounds cool. If I was going to do a triathlon again, that's the kind of thing I would do. Because I've done them in the past, and Jess is a tri gal.
Lake swims are my least favorite because I always come out looking like murky and with seaweed on me and everything. Where when I swim in the Hudson, everything was dead. It was gross. There was motor oil all over my face.
That's how she wakes up every day.
So the Hudson was the least scariest thing for me to swim in because I knew not many things were going to be alive in there.
Oh my God, no.
So
is that why you're still glowing?
Yeah.
What sparked your interest, Dave, in gravel cycling?
So I think it was kind of a natural extension, again, of things that sounded interesting. And so I still, like most of us, the first gravel race or ride was on my cyclocross bike, right? Because, I had a whole cyclocross season, and here's the off season or pre-season. And again, it was something I learned about and sounded neat. And I'm like, all right, I'll try it. So a bunch of us got together and jumped in and had a great time. And I think by the second gravel grinder that I did, long ride, I was like, why would I ever ride a road bike again? So my road bike is very happy on my trainer. It works all winter. Every once in a while, someone talks me into a road ride. I'll do a century, whatever, sure. And it's nice and it's fun. But I love gravel and mountain bike.
Right. What bleeds over into the next question? What's sort of I mean, it's obvious gravel cycling is like booming. What's your personal take on why it's so popular at the moment?
I think there's a number of things. I think that it's kind of what I just touched on, that experience of getting away from it. You can be in the woods, you can be on roads, but they're dirt, it's raw. There's a community around it. There's just a great vibe. It's not as serious as like road cycling has become, as an example. And it's a hell of a lot safer.
Yeah.
You know, there's just too many people in my personal circle. You don't have to go far to know of people that unfortunately have gotten hit, gotten injured, killed. And so I think that all of that's kind of contributed. People saying, hey, you know, I've got family, I got kids, I got a mortgage, I got all this, and I want to live. I want to enjoy and do these things for another 20, 30, 50 years, right? And so discovering something that you can do, and it blends from the mountain bikers and the road bikers kind of, that you don't need to be as technical, you know, which is kind of things that scare a lot of people from a lot of the mountain biking, quite frankly. But you still can have an amazing adventure, and you can really push and challenge yourself.
Right.
You know, I just did a gravel century, and it was just an amazing long day, but it was just incredible to have that experience, you know, and so that's really where a lot of our adventures come from. Our races, we call them adventures, is giving new challenges and new experiences and new memories. I just had a racer write me yesterday, and she was saying how she had never done anything like this. And she actually was one of our podium winners, because the first one we had to do virtual awards, and she forgot to email us that, I forgot to put in that I finished second and I got a Pan Racer cap, and I know this is silly, and I said, no, it's not silly at all. You achieved something. You took on a gravel event, something you'd never done, and you podiumed.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that's the sort of experiences and kind of what we feel like we're bringing to the world, and connecting people and giving them the opportunity to have experiences like that. So we love those sort of stories and experiences.
And it's been exciting to see, you know, how women have come to the sport.
Yes.
It's been very welcoming. Joe, I have a question for you. Joey, should I stop asking that question? Because I feel like we get the same answer over and over again. But I think it's just so real. I mean, it's so, because we ask that question of most everybody we have on the podcast, and I feel like it's always about community. It's always about that outdoor adventure. It's the blend from mountain bike to road bike. But I just love to hear it every time we get somebody on, because it seems like we get the same answer. So I love it. I'm not going to stop answering to Joey. Joey, I've just answered my own question.
There
we go. I've made a decision.
You go, darn it.
Never asked me for advice.
So before we start talking about Jersey Gravel Grinder, I know with like 16 events on your calendar throughout the year, you probably don't have a whole lot of spare time. But do you do any other events? Have you gone any other places and done any other things? And if so, what would have been some of your favorites?
You mean races that I've done personally? Or?
Yeah. Just have you done any other gravel events? Or I like I said, I caveated it. You've got a pretty packed schedule of events of your own that you're organizing, so it's probably hard to find time.
So the running joke within the crew is who's working, who's racing, and when.
Yeah.
And so I do manage, even as the head adventurer, I do carve out time to go out and do events myself.
Cool.
So this year I did Wilderness 101 in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Which
That's
is
a big one.
You know, ultra mountain bike. By some blessing, I got into Leadville and did the Leadville 100 in Colorado.
Cool.
I did Unpaved in Pennsylvania, which is just a great race. So, you know, and then in between, I'll squeeze in various mountain bike, cyclocross, gravel, anything else I can do, you know, and a couple of triathlons too. I did one, I went to Maryland for an off-road, and I went to Connecticut for a road tri. And it's just earlier or later in between our races, wherever we can. And probably the blessing though of doing this is that, you know, like tomorrow or Thursday, I gotta look at the weather, feel it's going to best. I'm going to be heading to one of the parks and doing some riding and scoping out some routes for some things that we're working on.
Cool.
How wonderful is that?
Yeah.
So that's work.
It's a good life.
You know,
it's a good life.
I take people to the parks and go, okay, here's my office.
So let's talk about what we're here to talk about, Jersey Gravel Grinder. What's sort of the origin story behind the Jersey Gravel Grinder, if there is one?
Yeah, so as I said before, I'd done a few on a cyclocross bike, loved the feel of it, had been exploring some routes and riding some routes and connected with some great riders. And, we were looking for what's next. What else do we want to be known as a company? And so 2018 was actually the first Jersey Gravel Grinder. It was actually kind of North Jersey. It actually linked up into New York and it was a great route, a lot of fun, and at the end we had this, big barbecue and, catered barbecue and beer, and it was just great. But what we found out was that the parks that had all said, okay, yeah, you can run your cycling event through us, afterwards said, oh yeah, there's a 10-mile-per-hour speed limit. There's no signs posted.
Oh,
no one said anything when we called and sent in the emails and did all things to go through the permit process. It wasn't until during the event we started getting calls. Oh yeah, hey, why are these riders riding so fast and they have number plates?
Oh man, that's rough.
So it took us a little over 2 years to go to Jersey Gravel Grinder 2.0. We had to obviously move the site. At that point, we had learned about and ridden a whole bunch of the Bedminster area, which is where the Jersey Gravel Grinder, both of them start and finish. It's kind of central northern New Jersey, not far from Philly and the city. And, and that's what kind of launched us. And we just finally felt we had the right product, what we had developed. And it's kind of a gravel fondo format. So it's not, a continuous loop, which, it is open public roads. There's horses, there's cars, there's a lot of things out there, but it is still fairly remote. And, there's a lot of great gravel riding, and we were able to build some routes, and it really took off. We had actually almost 500 people came to the May event.
I love that format, the Grand Fondo style.
Yeah, I like it.
I think that's a really great way to blend that gravel community with the relax when you and then go hard at other times. And I think it's great. Who else you got over there behind the scenes at Jersey Gravel Grinder?
Pretty big team. It kind of rotates a bit. Shani is kind of handling a lot of the packet pickups and registrations and all those sort of things. Chris is all the staging and production of that end of it. We have a web designer, we have a graphic designer, and then we have kind of a rotating cast of family, friends, and whatnot that get involved at various levels. A lot of it from all the riding and racing that I've done, the group has done, and then we also have a lot of volunteer groups. For example, we had a group called Elite Cyclists that are from Newark, New Jersey. They helped out and run a couple of aid stations for us at the Jersey Gravel Grinder. Paramount Multisport, one of the triathlon multisport groups in the area, they jumped in. So we get a lot of help from friends, a lot of people that are supporting. And then what we've started to happen is a lot of our racers want to give back. Like they really love the experience, and they just become kind of a part of the crew and get involved. And now we count on them just like the rest of the staff. And it's just building kind of our own little community within the community.
Yeah, Joey and I have decided this year we're doing a couple volunteering things at some events that we kind of near and dear to our heart. I think that's great. I think we should encourage all of our gravel friends out there to.
I said everyone needs to volunteer once a year.
Yeah. Just to make something happen. So let's get all the nuts and bolts. Tell us all of the nitty-gritty details about this year's events, the dates, the locations, how many riders, and all that stuff.
So I'm going to ask another question off tangent to you, because that's just who I am.
About your mother.
So no, it's not about my mom. So when you finish Unpaved, you get a whoopie pie. When you finish Jersey Gravel Grinder, do you get like a pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwich? Like, is that something that we're going to like bring? Or I don't know why you guys are cracking up at me, but
that's pretty good.
So we've gone to this very Jersey. You get hot pizza or hot Italian food, cold drinks, and we're bringing back the ice cream truck.
Okay.
Now,
is it a pizza or a pie?
It was
Pizza.
it's like a
It's still
20-minute
pizza.
discussion at our wedding. We had this.
yeah.
So
Jess is very particular, has very pointed opinions.
Pork roll
about,
would be great at a Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm telling
Pizza
you, a
is-
pork roll, egg, and cheese and a bagel.
I wouldn't want a pork roll after finishing one of my
Oh, I
rides.
do.
Jersey bagels.
I didn't know why you guys
Jersey
laughed so
bagels
hard
would
at
be
me.
good.
I'm
We
sorry.
definitely could use a whole ton of Jersey bagels. That's for sure. Those are the best, one of the best in the country.
When we go home to Jersey, we must get like 3 or 4 dozen bagels, and we freeze them, and then we stop. My mom always says, "Make sure you stop at the bakery to get the donuts." So that's what to get
couldn't
the
help
bagel.
it. She couldn't help
I had to do it, Debbie. I had to do it, Debbie Dillon. Okay.
Can I bring it back?
We're done.
Let's go back.
I'm gonna bring
We're
it
done.
back on the rails. Back on the rails. Let's talk about this year. What's your?
Apparently, Wes used to get lucky if he came home with Jersey bagels.
I don't want to know anything more about that. Okay, this year's events.
They are magical.
Wes used to be on our podcast he was one of our originals.
They'd
but
have to be real magical for Wes. So all the nuts and bolts, the event dates, the location, numbers of riders, all that good stuff. Let's get all those details in one place.
Alrighty, so the dates for the Jersey Gravel Grinders, the first one's on May 22nd, and Jersey Gravel Grinder Due is on September 25th. So both on Sundays, basically towards the end of each month.
Like Sunday events. Like
manageable,
Sunday.
too.
Like Sunday events. Dude, that's a great idea.
You know what it is, and I'll go sideways and come back. We are a bit anal about marking the course. There's extensive signage throughout the whole route, even the 100 miles when we do the 100-mile route.
Jess would still get lost, but that's okay.
So, and that's on top of using Ride with GPS. Everyone has the routing file. They have the GPX file. They have all things that hopefully they'll find their way. But doing that process takes us 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
So what we found is we start marking on a Wednesday, and it's Wednesday. It's 3 days minimum: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday's our sweep day. Get a little rest, and then Sunday the big event. And it just structures. And also, quite frankly, for people that are traveling, and we have people coming now from Ohio and from Maine and Vermont and Colorado and et cetera. So as the event's been growing in stature, people are coming from all over, and now they're making it. They're traveling 5, 6, 10 hours, whatever, to be in the area. They can now travel on a Saturday if they want to, be there, do their race, and then head out from there. So we definitely find Sundays work really well for the structure of the events. So that's as far as the dates. We're targeting 350 people.
Okay.
We should be able to increase that a little bit. Again, we had close to 500 for the first one, so it's just working with all the permitting agencies, and there's quite a few that we have to work with to make these Jersey Gravel Grinders happen. But we're pretty confident that we'll have some flexibility in that. But right now we want a pretty good target, and at least have a feel, because we want to keep it manageable. Also, we have a level of quality in terms of what we're looking to achieve. And I don't think we're going to be tomorrow a race that has 1,000 riders. And quite frankly, I don't think it's what we want right now. I think we have kind of a sweet spot where it's small enough that people can get to know each other and find new riders and have a nice post-race party and talk to each other and chill, and it has the right vibe and has a good flow with the aid stations. So, all of that we kind of balance out.
Excellent.
In terms of start and finish is in Bedminster, New Jersey. It's about an hour and a half or so from the Philly market, and same from the New York City market. So it's really in a great location, especially if someone wants to do like, a couple days trip or whatnot. There's an awful lot of riding, an awful lot of things you can experience in Philly and in New York City, and have your Jersey Gravel Grinder in the middle,
cool,
with or without the pork rolls. So you did ask. I'm going to have to send you one, Jess.
I will never forget. That was one of my favorite memories growing up as kids, is driving back from like ice hockey practice and stopping at a truck and getting like a pork roll sandwich. Like, they're delicious.
Now, what kind of distances for all the different
So
events?
we do 3 distances. We call them Soul, Adventure, and Mega.
Okay.
And they're different. So every Jersey Gravel Grinder is slightly different. So the flow of the route, the roads that we use, the segments that are raced, we mix it up pretty much every single race. There's some that we're going to reuse, obviously, but we like to keep it different and unique. And so just as someone says, "Oh, I know the course and I know Nope, you don't. Sorry, we're going to mix it up and keep it interesting. So we're in the process of finalizing the route for this year's races, but I give you a pretty good idea. They're going to be in this ballpark. So the May event, Seoul will be a 28-mile loop with about 1,600 feet of elevation.
Okay.
The adventure course, about 56 miles with 3,800 feet of climbing. And Mega will be 82 miles with about 6,200 feet elevation.
Okay.
So that gives you an idea. And then September, we go kind of extra large. And Seoul's about the same because, again, it's still the purpose of Seoul is to get beginners and first-timers into the event and have a great experience. So that's probably going to stay right around that 28 to 30-mile range, somewhere around there.
Okay.
But we go to a metric century for the adventure, so it's a 65-mile ride.
Okay.
And Mega in September becomes a full gravel century ride.
Nice. What's the elevation on the full century at the end?
The full century is about 7,400 feet.
Okay.
And
that's
the
cool.
metric century is about 4,500.
So
it's reasonable. I mean, there's climbing, but it's not, going up a straight wall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no, most of it's kind of flowing or gradual. There's a couple of killer climbs, but most of it's pretty flowing.
Okay. So, and when does registration open?
So registration is live.
Okay, cool.
We opened it up a week ago Friday. Mega is already more than 50% sold out.
Oh, nice.
So people that are interested in Mega, we also launched with, very heavily discounted pre-reg pricing and a promotion that if you sign up for both races, you got 20% off Jersey Gravel Grinder due by signing up both of them today.
Cool.
So just some great things to get people started. And, quite frankly, that gives us the funding to make all our investments and do things that we need to do to prepare for the events now.
Now, what do the routes look like? We've got the distances and the elevation, but how much gravel versus single track versus pavement, and what kind of gravel are we talking about?
Sure. So depending on the route, they're between about 55 to 70% gravel. The Seoul one is almost entirely gravel, 70%. And then obviously you go longer, we've had to add some road sections to connect some of the gravel. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, I was actually reading a review that I saw online. I was doing some searching at some stuff and looking at some stuff. And, they this is what they call it, like fish aquarium gravel, some of it. A lot of it's packed dirt. There's a little single track section in the Mega. So it's an optional single track section. So that was, I've always loved that in the races I've done. One of the other ones I've done is Iron Cross, just comes to mind. It's another great one here on the East. Mm-hmm. And having that, little bit of difference that, okay, you can ride. Now can you jump on a mountain bike trail with that gravel bike and see what you do for that for a mile?
Yep.
And it's not the most technical, but it's fun. It's different. And we made that optional. It's not a race segment, but it's just a real cool feature. Yeah, no. We don't want people. And again, that's the whole point of having it as a Fondo structure, right? Yeah.
Right.
Don't want to kill you.
So which distance did you do it unpaved this year? Did you do the difference?
I did what became the 95, and the group I was with missed one or two turns, so we were at 98 when we got to the finish.
Yeah.
And they're handing me the whoopie pie, and I said, "I'm not done. I got 2 more miles to do." And they looked at me like I was completely nuts. But I said, "No, I have a century to finish. I'm so sorry. I'll see you in a few minutes. I'm going to go out, and I'll be back after I did my 2 more miles."
Yeah.
But it had to be done. I actually had other people that had finished, a little bit earlier and whatnot, and they go, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" I'm like, because you're not as insane as I am. So, okay.
When you were talking about that little section of single track, that was what thought came to my mind. Is I did do the difference. So I did the 127 and unpaved this year, and it had
nice.
that Longwell draft was just ridiculous. It was straight up mountain bike land, and then they had that little bit of off camber kind of single track, which by the time I got there, I think 1,000 bikes had gone through there. So it was like skating rink going through there. Yeah, it was tore up bad. So
I hit a lot of that when I did Wilderness. So I was like, and I was debating, but again, it's the amount of training time. Like I did Leadville in August, and then was extremely busy going into September into the Jersey Gravel Grinder due. Right. And then boom, okay, oh great, now you got to go race 100 miles, have fun. So what does the prospective Jersey Gravel Grinder
rider need to know?
So I think it's be prepared to have a day of fun, have a great experience. The horse farms and the mansions and even Trump National Golf is there, but it's gorgeous. All of it is really, really, there's lakes and rivers that you pass by. So you're going to have, if you want to just chill out and enjoy the scenery and just have a great ride, you're going to have that.
Cool.
There are race segments. So the course is nested so that basically the majority of the soul ride is gone through before the other two longer ones go off, and then they branch off again. So you do have a point of no return. We have had some people that sign up for Mega, they're on course, and they've had already a long day, and they get to the tee that goes, hey, you go left, you take the blue pill, go right, take the red pill, you choose, and have that. It's a full day of riding, especially the Mega is a lot, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. And the other thing that we've done this year is we've added a team competition.
Oh, cool.
So I'll touch on that for a second. So minimum of 3 racers, maximum of 6. The top 3 results from the team go towards the team points.
Oh, cool.
So we're doing Strava segments. So if you finish first, you might get 100 points and so on down the line. And so we're going to do a trophy for overall winner. We're going to do a trophy for top co-ed team that has to be at least half women. And, we're doing a top all-woman team trophy.
Cool.
For an all-woman team.
Jess, how about me, you, and Ted King?
Okay, yeah, right?
That
would be awesome.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Go for it.
I know that some people...
Thanks, guys. I'm just sitting over here.
I know that you...
Hello, Joey.
I know that you didn't get... Did you get lost at Unpaved? Or did you take a wrong turn? Did you say?
I was with a group that missed the first right-hand turn because, you finish that long straightaway and you're looking for a sign. You don't even realize that it's on the ground.
Yep.
And I was with some really fast riders. Their heads were down, and we flew back. But I had my bike computer going. I have a Hammerhead, and it's beeping like crazy. And I looked down and going, wait, it's like something's wrong here. And I scream out to them, and they eventually turned around. And I turned around, and there was another point where was that hard right-hand turn into that, I forget what they call it, punch you in the face or something like that. It was called, I don't know.
Punch you in the nuts.
Yep.
Punch in the nuts, whatever. And we missed that one too. That one we went a couple miles out of the way because we just missed the turn. No one saw it. So anyway, but it was a godsend because I had it in my mind going to that day because originally I was a 90 and then with the reroute it was a 95. And then I'm like, well, hell, if I'm doing 95, I'm doing 100. And so, when I got back and it was, I looked at the Garmin and I go, oh, it's 98. I have a watch. And I said, okay, well, I got 2 more to go. So it was a great experience. I definitely, they did a great job. And again, that's it. You pull things from each event and you learn from each event. We're not going to copy them with whoopie pies because that's their thing. That's good.
Pork rolls.
But I think hot pizza and
like
cold
the pork
drinks at the end, pretty nice. Pork rolls are okay. We'll think about that one.
No,
maybe
pizza
maybe
after
that
a
needs to be
ride.
at one of our deep rest stops.
Yeah.
No, if you get greasy pizza after a ride.
Yeah. So what's the
It's spiritual food.
Yeah, it's so good.
What's the best bike setup in your opinion?
So, you know what? It's the first thing is, there's aid stations about every 20 odd miles.
Mm-hmm.
So you can ride with 2 bottles and you're set for the day, which first off is really nice. You don't need to get carried away. Temperatures can vary quite a bit. So in terms of carrying layers or change up, that's always smart. And having nutrition. In terms of the bike itself, we're Panaracer fans. Been riding on Gravel Kings for forever. I would say that depending on the type of rider and what you want the ride to be, if you want the fastest ride, you're probably going on Gravel King SS type tires and maybe going on something like a 35, maybe 38 max on those. And then if you want maybe a little more of a cush ride, a little more traction, maybe the Gravel King SKs, and maybe you're going up to 38 or 40, I guess they're now called. But you're not going to hit boulder, baby head sort of stuff. You're not on a Jeep road. You're on a lot of crushed, packed sort of stuff. Because a lot of it And even the mountain bike trail that we have the single track on, I mean, that's mostly dirt. There are some rocks and some roots, but again, it's manageable, with that sort of a setup.
It's cool to talk to different event directors about the routes and ask that specific question because, boy, all gravel events have such different, ramifications with regards to the surface. It's kind of, I really love asking that question and listening to the answers about, how varied it is. You got any shout outs for some event sponsors or anybody like that?
Sure. So already mentioned, of course, Panaracer. They've been a great partner. We're talking with them, but at the Jersey Gravel Grinder, we had a set of Panaracer Gravel King tires for all of the winners.
Cool.
Just to give you an idea of their commitment and support of Race That Go Adventures and our Gravel Adventure series, and specifically the Jersey Gravel Grinder. Another great partner has been Trek in New Jersey. I'll say I work part-time for them now, which they're just a great organization, great culture, and they've been very, very supportive, providing neutral tech support both before the event and during the event at various aid stations, as well as providing some great prizes as well. We gave out water bottles and packs and all sorts of stuff. And the last one will be our nutrition provider, which is Goo. Okay. Goo's been a partner for over 5 years with Race That Go Adventures. And so, we have gels and Stroop waffles and Goo Roctane. And so, the aid stations are very, very well stocked with great nutrition products.
Cool. And how can interested folks find out more? Now, I'll put all the links in the show notes, but for people that don't visit there, they may remember some things. So how can people find out some more information?
So the obviously the first place to go would be the Race That Go Adventures website itself. It's www.rsgadventures.com. They'll find us on Bike Reg, of course, www.bikereg.com/JGG. Very simple.
Cool. That's easy.
And actually both Jersey Gravel Grinders are all on the same page. So you go to one page and you can register for either one or both.
Cool.
And again, take advantage of that multi-race discount. We're on all the socials. We have a very active Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. So you can find us on all those. It's RSG Adventures on Facebook, Race That Go Adventures on Instagram, and RSGA Race on Twitter.
So I'm going to put links to all those things in the show descriptions and the show notes so people can find the direct links there. But it sounds like they're pretty easy to find. Sounds like it's not going to be too tough to find you.
If you Google Jersey Gravel Grinder, you'll find us very quick. You'll find reviews and write-ups on the races. There's a lot when you Google it. It's definitely a lot's out there, which is great.
Well, thanks for joining us, Dave.
Yeah.
This is an awesome conversation. I'd love to hear about the Jersey Gravel Grinder, and I'm sure we'll have some people out there that are excited about it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to connect with you guys and have a chat and talk gravel. And it's going to be a great year. We're really excited. And again, we'll have the 3 gravel grinders and our first gravel try. And we're going to keep growing in that direction. We really, really love this part of the sport and the way it's emerging and the reaction from the participants and the feedback that we're getting. So it's really a great place to be.
So you're not getting away this easy. Every week we finish our show with a little round of this or that, and we always invite our guests to join us, and I'm certain that you're going to want to stick around. Right, Dave?
Sure, I'm game.
Not really an invite.
It's not really an invite. It's more of like...
Not really an invite. It's more of...
Voluntold.
Yeah.
Voluntold.
Again, I need to get you the bagels and porkholes.
Yeah.
I understand
my wife
how this
voluntold
works.
me for a lot of stuff.
Exactly, I do.
Okay, this will be how we'll run it. Dave, I'm going to toss it over to you for your first response. I'm going to put 2 things together. You make a choice. You can explain yourself or not. It's up to you. Then I'm going to go to Jess.
Nose goes. Got it.
And then I'll answer. And then, Joey, you can bring it home. Does that sound good?
Joey likes being the last one.
Yeah, he wants to be different.
He wants to be different, exactly.
First item on this week's This or That. Dave, flannels or a sweatshirt?
Ooh, depends.
We don't wear those.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I take pills for those before every event.
no, you know what? Flannels are great for working or for whatever, but there's nothing better than putting on some sweats and chilling.
Yeah. So I think Jess wears sweats. Well, I'll let you answer. Go ahead.
Yes,
She's modeling right now.
I love wearing sweatshirts. It's my favorite
She loves
thing.
wearing mine.
I love wearing Joey's sweatshirts. Joey gets all these really great sweatshirts, and then I reap the benefits. So, I give really good health insurance, and Joey gets really good sweatshirts.
This is probably the first podcast, maybe in the history of the program, that there's been no flannel at the table, which I'm amazed. I'm not wearing one tonight. Joey's
I
not.
got my
wearing-
GTD shirt on.
I know, but you're not wearing flannel. Usually, it's like we have matchy flannels on. It's like I don't know how that always happens. I'm guys, I'm a flannel guy. I have like one sweatshirt in the rotation, and I wear it sometimes. But the flannel, they basically wear out, and that's when they get really nice. So, Joey,
So they get soft.
yeah,
Yeah.
Considering I manage a bike shop, I get a lot of free clothes, such as that, and that happens to be my kayak side.
most of my clothes are
I don't pay for any of my clothes really, but I do love a nice flannel.
That's an all.
Are we talking about riding? I'm kind of. The beer was way higher in percentage than I thought.
I told him. Did I not tell
Are we
him
talking
the
about
ABVs
riding?
are high?
No, we're just talking about whether you enjoy wearing a flannel shirt or a sweatshirt, Joey. That's
While
all.
riding?
No,
Nobody wears a
No.
sweatshirt while riding.
Oh, you'd be
Really
surprised.
above.
You'd be
Sweatshirt?
surprised.
No,
Oh.
when you're riding, I would wear a flannel when I ride the bike.
I ride flannels when I ride.
Flat behind me.
Joey,
and look
do you
like
like
a
to wear
cape.
flannels or do you like to wear sweatshirts?
Just answer
That's
the question.
I'm 50-50.
Oh,
Okay,
Lord.
you're out. Okay. Second item on this week's
He's in
this or
Squid
that.
Game.
I'm glad I did not have one of those beers tonight.
had two.
I'd just be spending the night here. How true you had
No,
two of
I
them.
get to ask you this or that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
IPA or anything else?
Oh, I'm a stout porter, especially this time of year.
This time of year, yeah, we're the dark beer.
I drink a lot of bourbon, and I really basically have beer for the podcast.
Yeah, that's really the only time I think you drink beer that I'm aware of. Okay, second item. On a very long gravel ride. I feel like you had the beer. Maybe I did. It's a smell coming across the
Give
table.
it a shot.
On a very long it's the teeth thing. On a very long gravel ride, would you rather ride with a big old wide cruiser saddle with a giant gel pad on it, or wear jeans that are just a little too tight?
Ooh.
That's actually tough, isn't it?
No, that's not tough.
It is tough.
My mind is set already.
David, do you even want to?
I'm not rocking a gelled saddle. I'm just not.
So he's a tight jeans guy, Jess. What are
I'm
you?
not wearing jeans. I feel like those are constraints on my life that I don't need put in place.
Don't want them? Okay.
No, I hate
Don't want
wearing
them. Don't need them.
jeans. I hate them. They're gross. Yuck. Disgusting.
The gel pad thing, I think that's more damaging than anything possibly.
I love riding my mom's little handlebars up with her big gel seat.
Okay.
I love riding that bike.
You be you. Out on the
Hell
villages.
yeah.
I would go with the jeans because I'd probably just take them off. Woohoo. Commando. Joey?
Wow.
Joey's like, what are we talking about?
No. I'm just thinking of you doing that. I would probably go jeans because
Yeah.
it is fun riding this cruiser. So those saddles are only designed for like riding like an hour at a time.
Have you ever seen anybody on like a Century like Taz?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah. There's been multiple events I've worked where people will ride.
They destroy themselves with those things.
Oh, they're sterile after.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're dudes,
No.
they're sterile. But
Okay.
I mean, those things cutting off your blood flow, uncomfortable. They're designed for a purpose, and that's it.
Yep. Third item on this week's This or That, Mr. Rogers or Captain Kangaroo? Oh, come on. That's a hard one.
I'm a millennial.
Oh, you guys don't even know
It
who
is
Captain
a beautiful
Kangaroo
I
ride.
know
is.
who Captain Kangaroo is.
I just realized that, Dave. These guys don't know who Captain Kangaroo is.
What if Dave doesn't know who Captain Kangaroo is?
Dave, you know who Captain Kangaroo
I
is,
know who
right?
Captain Kangaroo is.
See?
We're okay. But I'm still going with It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Yeah. Just make a choice, Jeff.
None
Yes, it
of
is.
them. None of them. Joey's the youngest of all of us, too.
Excuse me.
So you have no preference
I'll
on
go
this one?
Mr. Rogers. I hear he's a badass. I don't know.
He is. He actually, my daughter went to Rollins in
Don't know what that is.
Winter Park, Florida, where he was a graduate alumni, Fred Rogers.
I hear he's badass, right?
yeah.
Is he badass?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he wears leather. And
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
He's
I
really on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Captain
Revving
Kangaroo,
it up.
if I'm going to be perfectly honest, he always gave me the creeps.
Oh, Captain Kangaroo is 100% creeper. I don't know where he had to say that.
Mr. Rogers is so nice. He'd come in and put the little cardigan on, and anybody who wears a cardigan, I mean, got a cardigan, he'd put on his little fancy slippers, but Captain Kangaroo was like he was like stoned or something.
Captain Kangaroo is like a pre-Chris Farley.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Last item.
Is that this man?
On.
Yes, that's Captain Kangaroo.
Good grief.
Doesn't he look creepy? Jess is over here Googling Captain Kangaroo.
So at one point in time, I heard rumors that Mr. Rogers was like some recon Marine or Navy SEAL. Apparently, that's all fake. But Mr. Rogers, I still watched Mr. Rogers when I was a kid.
I would still watch. I'd watch Mr. Rogers now.
Now, Marcus has a cardigan just like his.
Marcus is he's got a lot of Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, he's got that soft tone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy. Do anything for you. Yeah. Captain Kangaroo, he'd like come at you with a knife, he'd shank you. Double stab.
He's like, I watched Orange is the New Black.
Okay, last item on this week's This or That. Underdress or overdress for a winter ride? Cold winter ride.
Underdress.
100% underdressed. We just put our heat on the other day because our dog was cold. But
last night at 7:44.
Meanwhile, we're like I have like 2 sweatshirts on, like long pants on. Like I love being cold.
So you guys know I hate being cold.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I hate being cold. So while it's easy to say overdress, I do know the ramifications of that. It hurts at the end of the day.
Overdressing?
Yeah, I do. I think it hurts you. I think developing that undersweat.
You can get colder from that hypothermia.
Makes you sick. Yeah. But you guys just know how I hate the cold, so I would. Oh God, this is really hard for me. I would say go underdressed, but man, I hate being cold, Joey.
He still wants his extra layer.
Yeah, I do.
Underdress.
Yeah, I would get an extra. I would wear an extra layer.
You build up that sweat and it just boils.
Get Joey to carry it for me. But the problem is that once you've got that sweat going, you can't take the layer off because then you get it. It's
on the base.
It makes it even worse.
It's all about the wall base layer.
All right, well, that's all of our This or That's this week. David, once again, thank you. You guys got anything else before we shut this thing down?
No, like Joey? I said, those beers were 10%, not 5 like I thought.
I did say that, right?
Yes, you did.
I filled this thing up with multiples.
Very early. Yeah, I know.
I was feeling it a little bit.
It was a big, I could see it on your face.
You still have to walk the dog.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you want to support the podcast, guys, the best way to do that is to jump over to wherever you listen to it, give us a 5-star rating, and consider dropping a review. Or you can financially support us through Patreon, and Joey's going to tell you how to find that.
All right, our website is at graveltraveldirt.com. Our Instagram handle, if you're on socials, is Mid-Atlantic GTD. Our Wookiee contest has opened for one more week. Phone number is 410-231-4664. Feel free to leave your best Wookiee voicemail.
Can I hear your Wookiee? Let me hear your Wookiee. I think you do a pretty good Wookiee.
He has a very good Wookiee.
Can I hear your Wookiee?
No, it's okay.
Well, please.
It's very good.
I'm gonna call in and compete.
Hear the Wookiee.
Yeah, for our guest.
You just think I've had too much beer. I have a tolerance. Like
we went to a Star Wars themed birthday party and Joey Wookieed at the kitchen table. I mean, so
it was for a 3-year-old.
I'm basically a 3-year-old.
I want to do it on. I'm going to compete in the competition.
Okay, Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt is recorded this week from right here in Joey's kitchen, all the way up to somewhere in New Jersey. Thanks for riding along with us. Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.